What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse ranch, no hate. So, Deontay Wilder. Now, it was said he was fighting against this guy, Stephen Shaw, however you say his name. And I know someone in the comment section said that the opponent changed. And Stephen Shaw, whatever. He has a total of 21 fights, which means he has considerably less fights than Wilder. But okay, 18 wins, 13 knockouts, 2 losses, and 1 no contest. Now, for him to fight this guy, this isn't the level of competition that I was talking about. If you guys remember the analogy that I gave, right? The not even the analogy, just the idea of what would be, in my opinion, the best possible way to bring back Wilder after getting beat by Joseph Parker and being, stopped by Zhang. So now here's the guy that it's rumored that he's supposed to be fighting next instead of Stephen Shaw. Okay. Listen at this. This is Curtis Harper. I'm going to tell you who Curtis Harper is for y'all that don't know. Okay, let me read this to you first, though. As of January 2025, Curtis Harper's professional boxing record is 18 wins and 11 losses. He has 12 knockouts. Okay. This man has a total of 29 fights, but 11 losses. For y'all who don't know, Curtis Harper is the guy. Do you remember when Efe Ajagba was in the ring? The bell rung, his opponent got out the ring and left, and he made the excuse about money and all this shit, whatever. That guy. Okay. So, if you guys remember, and for those who may not remember, or may not have seen the video, I said the best possible way to bring back Deontay Wilder, if he really wants to have 3-4 fights like he's claiming, have him come back and fight Derek Chisora. Because Chisora has respect on his name. Now, for us, that's not delusional. We know that Chisora's washed up. We know that. But he's in the same age group as Deontay Wilder. Okay. He get past him. Have him fight Dillian White. He gets past Dillian White. Joe Joyce. Guys like that do have respect on their name, even though they're not the same fighters, right? Wilder claims he's the same, with the exception of saying he don't know if he still has his killer instinct back. That he said that the Savage is back and he did all this promising and whatever. And Malik Scott's making excuses for him. He's talking about how good he looks in training. He looks excellent in training. And then all of a sudden in the ring, the last 2 fights, for some reason, it just didn't come out. Yeah, okay. So, where does Wilder go from here? Part of what I said as well is this. When you're a type of fighter where you are just washed up, like you just don't have it at all, you're done, you really like stick a fork in you, okay. There's no need to fight anybody like that can't compete with anybody at all, okay? But at the same time, when you fight guys that have experience, guys that do have respect on their name, what will happen is, if you win, they're going to say he has 3 straight wins in a row. And they're going to, reference these guys as top opposition and talk about who this guy beat and that guy beat and lie to people and build up a situation where he's put back in the title fight that he didn't really earn because he didn't beat the guys that he should have beat to get this title shot. Now, at the same time, Deontay Wilder wants to have this fight in the States. And he's the same guy that said he's doing way better over here with Turki Al-Sheikh than he was at the PBC. Then he said he had a multi-fight contract. Yeah, right? I think he said 3 or 4 fights to be exact. Something of that, and something around those areas. Okay, so he had 2, and he got beaten both of those fights. So now all of a sudden, this is a BLK Prime fight. BLK Prime. Last time we heard about BLK Prime, Crawford fought over there. Adrian Broner never did fight. And basically, we haven't heard anything. So, I can imagine how shitty this card is going to be. I can imagine how crappy this card is going to be. And if Deontay Wilder is the headline, it's definitely going to be a crappy card. Because if that fight is the main event, goddamn, who do you have on the undercard? Like who? So this goes to show you where Deontay Wilder's confidence is, where Malik Scott's confidence is. And they're trying to get him the most money that he can get against the easiest opponent that he can find. Now, here's my thing. I read some comments from the past and even more recently with Deontay Wilder fans were saying Efe Ajagba sucks because people... So wait, people comparing the two of them with height, reach, and all that type of stuff. So here's my thing. If Efe Ajagba sucks so much, why don't Wilder fight him then? Because at least he does have respect on his name. Efe Ajagba basically was one of those fighters that got to a certain point. People was expecting him to get better and show progress, but he just never gets better. It's like he did this and just stayed there. And never went up, not even a little bit. He's just stuck right here. Okay. But if y'all are that confident that he sucks, that's what y'all feel, that's your opinion of him, I don't think anybody in their right mind would think that Stephen Shaw and this other, Curtis Harper, is better than Efe Ajagba. But if he sucks that much, why not fight Efe? I mean, who else is coming off of a loss? What's my man's name that just got knocked out not too long ago, and it was kind of surprising to people because he always looks good in his fights, but this particular time he just got destroyed by Cabiel. Frank Sanchez. Well, okay, so he's coming off a loss. See, my thing is, I think unless Wilder can land something and knock him out or something, I think Frank Sanchez will box circles around Wilder and probably stop him. He's coming off of a loss. Why didn't you fight him? Who else is coming off of a loss? The guy that, what's my man's name that Daniel Dubois beat before he fought AJ? What like you understand what I'm saying? See, these guys are the type of guys who never really did anything yet. They've been in that position of trying to get there. See, this is the level of competition I'm talking about. Guys that have respect on their name, but like I said, not at the very top. Wilder and them said, hell with this, we going straight to the pits of hell with these fighters. We're not trying to find anybody that can test us. We trying to find shit. We want somebody worse than Robert Helenius. You understand what I'm saying? For you to be the former heavyweight champ of the world, yeah, you've been in there with Fury, you lost. You've been in there with Parker, you lost. You've been in there with Zhang, you lost. These are the very top guys. And for you to be in this point in your career and fighting a guy with 11 losses. Yeah. So here's the thing. When you start talking about great fighters, you start talking about accomplishments and what a fighter has done, who the fighter's beaten, all of these, all this different stuff. I look at stuff like this and I say, if you look at where these fighters are, you look at Wilder's career. He's going back to do you see what I told you? See, this is what the thing about me about this generation is motherfuckers don't like the truth and the reality. And every fucking thing I've ever said about Wilder, everything has come into fruition. Everything that I've said about him. Didn't I say the one thing that I love about what Turkey's doing with how he's putting these fights together is if you want to be on these cards, you got to fight the best. He tried to throw fucking Wilder a bone by offering him a shot at Lawrence Okolie at Bridgerweight. They were trying to get him, right? Because they wanted to give, while they're trying to give him another shot. So like I said, it's either, even though I want you to win, if you do lose, well, we've just found our next star that we're going to start to build up on off defeating you. But if you beat him, hey, you're champ again. And I'm like, well, damn, what about Joseph Parker? Because he beat Wilder. What about Zane? Okay, because he beat Wilder. And again, what about Joseph Parker? Because he beat Zane and Wilder. You see what I'm saying? And didn't I say, if you make excuses to not be on this card, unless you're injured, like literally injured, like something, like if you want that smoke, and here's a card, here's someone providing you, they're giving you these opportunities. We want you here. This dude cared about Wilder so much, he said he didn't want to bring Wilder right back after the Parker loss because he didn't like what he saw. Clearly, Turkey wanted Wilder to win as well. They wanted Wilder versus AJ. Remember that. And I said, if a fighter is bitching about money, the money's not a problem. Turkey got you. Didn't I say, if a fighter really wants this smoke, he's going to want to be on these cards. This is Wilder's decision. I'm pretty sure you're not doing better with BLK Prime than you was with the PBC. We know for sure you're not doing better with them than you was doing with what Turkey got on over here in Saudi. So why did Wilder resort to going to BLK Prime? You know who's a part of BLK Prime, don't you? Good old Blue. You understand what I mean? And you know this is nothing but a way to help Wilder. And he's going to be the main event, and you know his ego is not going to want to be anything other than, and you hear no fucking fights announced about this card, right? So why you think Wilder ends up doing this? Nah, man, I got to resort back to what I know. Fighting guys that I know generally ain't shit. Turkey would have never, ever accepted this fight. Never. Now, the PBC might have done that shit because it's Wilder. Who the fuck wants to see this guy? Who wants to see this guy? This guy, 18 wins, 11 losses. Look, this is a worse opponent than Stephen Shaw. And I'm sitting here saying, damn, this motherfucker didn't even fight. Think about it. This is the same dude. You're fighting a dude that got in the ring, waited for the bell to ring, and left. That's who you're fighting. What's the other guy, man, that Fury was talking about fighting and people laughed at him and that's when people started to really get sick of Fury's bullshit. What's the dude's name, man? He said his name first before he wound up fighting Derek Chisora. And we were saying, nah, man, this guy doesn't belong in the ring with anybody that's worth a shit. I forget this dude's name. He's really irrelevant, man. But he has some bullshit belt. And I'm saying, I won't be shocked if Wilder go after him just to say, hey, I got a meaningless belt, but hey, I got a, and it would make him feel better to be able to stand up there holding it on his shoulder and or whatever. So, right, I forget this dad. Manuel Chaw. Goddamn. At least people could say they know Manuel Chaw is no good. They know this. But Manuel Chaw, I guarantee you more people would say, if you ask who you think will win, they would be like, I don't even know who this guy Curtis Harper is or Stephen. I don't even know who that is. Guarantee you. At least they do know who Manuel Chaw is. And I mean, like, this is like the lowest of the lows, man. Like, how much lower can you go? I mean, damn, at this point, man, he might end up saying, you know what? Is Berman Stavern still alive? Yeah, well, let's see if we can get him back in the ring for a third fight. Like, this goes to show you, if you think that him fighting any one of these two guys, just to say he won, you think that this is going to sharpen him up and prepare him for top-level competition? I mean, if you want to do calculus, you got to do more than just 8 plus, 2 plus 2 is 4. 8 plus 8 is 16. You got to do better than that. You have to know more than that to do it, right? So you understand what I'm saying? This isn't an iron sharpens iron situation. This is clearly a guy trying to make some money and finding the weakest opposition he can find. I mean, now look at my idea versus what he's actually doing. Now, I did hear Curtis Harper say, well, this is boxing, man, so nothing's etched in stone, Okay, but the fact of the matter is they showed interest in him. And Stephen Shaw. Look, these guys are not even ranked. Neither one of them. Stephen Shaw's not ranked. This guy's not ranked. And Curtis Harper said that Wilder was one of the 3 choices for him to fight. I said, God damn. Wilder was one of the 3 choices for you to fight. What does this say about Wilder, though? I would have never suggested this, or I'd have just said he need to go back to what he was doing. No, I told you guys. You know what? It's like when a guy tries to fight a style that he's not used to. And in training, you might ask me, be going, oh, yeah, he's working on this. See, he's doing that different. He's doing this different. And then as soon as the fight heats up, like they might put him in an easy fight, and he's able to, implement some of those things. And you say, yo, I noticed he was going to the body more. Yo, the uppercut through the middle. And he was doing this and he was doing that. But then as soon as you put him in there with stiff competition, he resorts right back to what he's doing, what he's been known to do. This is what Wilder is doing right now. He's resorting back to what he normally did his whole career. And that's fight guys that's not worth a shit. Let's just be real, man. In all honesty, if he tried to say anything to justify this shit, let me say this. He'd have been better off fighting Lawrence Okoli for a bullshit Bridgerweight belt. Well, it's a major title, but I'm saying he'd have been much better off. It'd have been more respectable for him to even fight him instead of these dudes. By far. And my thing is, him being a heavyweight all this time, it makes no difference if he calls him. Look, by weight, he is a Bridgerweight. By weight, because it's a new weight class. But in terms of who's there, nah. What does it matter if he says I'm a Bridgerweight? So it's not like he gotta lose any weight. Him coming in the ring 213, 214. Remember when they said that was his best weight? That's his unbeatable weight. And then all of a sudden, if you remember, right? They were talking about they don't know what went wrong, something with the training that, whatever, but they just don't understand why he came in so light. 213. Then came in the very next fight, 214. So it's like, are you shitting me, man? So if first you said, remember, when he went up to 238 when he fought Fury. Then all of a sudden, they said like dummies, well, that was just an experiment. Oh, so you made yourself a lab rat for a fight. Man, that's stuff that you do on off time when you train. Let me see if I can carry this weight. When you don't have a fight locked, you don't do that shit, man. And his fans believe this bullshit. Well, if that's true, that's what you were doing, I know why I believe you put that weight on. And I said it should have been on his legs. His upper body had nothing to do with it. But at the same time, it didn't work because he doesn't even know how to, apply the techniques that he need for it to be effective in the first place. But this dude went to 238 all the way up. Comes in at 213, then say he was too small just to come in a pound heavier in the very next fight. The weight has nothing to do with it. His age has nothing to do with it. His skills has everything to do with it. The lack of. And this man went out of his own mouth from saying, I'm doing way better now over here with Turkey than I was doing over there with the PBC. God damn. He did all, these are his words. He didn't even fucking finish. I'm going to look it up. I know he said he had like a multi-fight deal. And I know it was either 3 or 4 fights that he had. He said, fuck that. He's walking out, right? Now look at him. BLK Prime. Bro, I used to watch Tuesday Night Fights, but we knew that Tuesday Night Fights was like a platform for you to get some recognition, which a lot of fighters, benefited from it, and it sucked that it's not here now. But that was the platform. If you were fighting on Tuesday Night Fights, you were either a up-and-comer, a journeyman. You understand what I'm saying? You were a fighter that used to be good or whatever it was, and now you're trying to, get back up. Tuesday Night Fights didn't have pay-per-views. They didn't have like an event where it's just like a super event. That's not what Tuesday Night Fights was. It was boxing though. But that's what he did. It's like he went from Showtime to HBO to Tuesday Night Fights. That's the equivalent of what he's doing right now. And the fact is, for him to sit here and fight a guy with 11 losses, right? Wilder better come out of his face when he's interviewed and say, listen, I'm trying to work my way back up, trying to get my confidence back up. That's why I took this lighter opposition. This the man that said, AJ, take all the easy fights. See, and then when we start ripping him open because he says a bunch of hypocritical, untrue shit, oh man, everybody picking on Wilder. Y'all know Aries don't care. Y'all know that by now. But this is all his words. And now, for him to go through with this, the fact that he's even considering this shit. Like, imagine if this was leaked, like we wasn't supposed to know. But just to find out, damn, he was trying to fight a guy 18 and 11. And y'all talk about experience, right? Right. All these fights Wilder has, and this is who he chooses, Like I said, he went from Stephen Shaw, who's like a toenail, to fucking Curtis Harper, who's like the very bottom of a foot. He went to the very bottom. Like, bro. Remember when Aries told y'all Trevor Bryant versus Bermane Stiverne for that regular belt, WBA or whatever it was, regular belt. And I said, these two are being put in here as sacrificial lambs. And whoever wins is going to be nothing but a rib cage for a more polished fighter. At the time, it looked like it might have been, well, in my thoughts, like it might, Dillian White might end up fighting for that belt because Dillian was fighting, and wasn't getting any rewards. And, then after the Povetkin thing happened, he got the rematch, then okay, the rest is history. Y'all know what happened. But it ended up being Daniel Dubois. But point is, like I told you, Trevor Bryant and Stiverne are in the same class. They're both shitty-ass fighters. But Trevor Bryant had more in the tank than Stiverne did. And he went there and got embarrassed against Dubois. So my whole thing with that was, this is just, okay, they're holding a belt that I want. It's nothing to brag about. This was like, this. You knew these dudes wasn't competitive. You knew it. And Trevor Bryant talked all that big shit just to go in there and get destroyed. Now, this right here, there's no belt on the line, but these guys are like probably lower than Trevor Bryant. The bottom line, Trevor Bryant's the lowest of the low. And this is why when you see someone like him carrying a belt, it's like, damn, to make this, how shitty is this sport, man? That somebody like Trevor Bryant and Bermane Stiverne can actually fight for a belt at the time that they fought for it on top of that. So, yeah, this is like this is not even, talk about a step down. This motherfucker done fell into a bottomless pit. Like, damn. Really? Hey, man. It just amazes me. I just thought about this bullshit logic that people have and make up when they, the Canelo fans, when they say shit like Floyd fought Canelo. Canelo was too young. He's only 23 years old. Marciano was 22 when he had his first, had his big fight. Yeah, all these guys that y'all call great, all these guys that y'all agree to that's great fighters, they wasn't waiting until they was damn 26, 27 to finally start. No. No. Let's look at this bullshit lie that they tell you. They try to make a reason. You know, if you're going to sit here and look at these guys' ages, these guys are all well past 23. Do you think that their ages and their experience in boxing make them polished fighters? So, at this point, what is Wilder? 38, 39? That motherfucker been 38 for like 7 years. But if you look at that, let's look at that bullshit. If Canelo was too young, what's the proper age? We know it's an individual thing, right? But what's the proper age for somebody to fight? Because what people say is, what someone else says, yeah, even though he was 23, you know, he had a lot of experience. It's different when you like 28, 29. I'm like, okay. So are you saying that every fighter develops the older they get? That every fighter sustains? Well, nah, okay. So how can you just jump to saying something that you have no proof of? You're just assuming. Canelo, at 23 years old, was a dangerous fighter, and a whole lot of people thought he was going to beat Floyd. That's how good Canelo is. It didn't happen. The thing is, after he got his ass whooped, people made excuses. Oh, he's way better. No, same old Canelo. Same old Canelo. So, my point, at 23, do you think that either one of these guys is as good as Canelo was when he was 23? They're all older. Wilder's older, but they're all younger than Wilder. But at the same time, do you understand what I'm saying? This shit is ridiculous. This is disgraceful. This is disgraceful. So that bullshit about, oh, they get better. Nah, and Canelo ain't had no motherfucking 11 losses. He was undefeated and had over 40 fights at 23. Got his first L from Floyd. Do you even know who these guys fought? And here's the crazy thing. Wilder is fighting a man who's not famous, but people that do remember him, they only remember him for getting in the ring with F.A., waiting for the bell to ring, and then walking out. That's what they remember him from, if anything at all. And this is who your bronze bomber, Bomb Squad, that's who he's fighting. AJ like to take all the easy fights. Let's say Wilder comes out. Boom! Dude goes to sleep. Does that warrant a title shot for Wilder? To knock out a guy that's not even ranked? Now, the fact that he resorted back to what he was always doing, and I told you, this is going to make you or break you, and people want to see what you made of. And that turkey out of sheet card is too hard for these motherfuckers. You know what I find funny? The fact that Frank Warren and other people was talking about Klitschko coming out of retirement, and hey, if he wants to fight, we'll be right here waiting for him. Wilder fans that jumped in that shit and was talking, and I know because they was bringing up shit in conversations and talking about Wilder this and that. Fury's a good fighter and all that, but everybody know he cheated against Wilder and this and this. And I'm sitting here saying, you know, it's funny to me that the excuse that even 7-8 Sports made for Wilder was, I don't think it's fair that they put you in there against Parker, and Parker was active and you wasn't. They should have put you in there with somebody that was out the ring just like you. Well, no, they don't want to put a fight on that's going to sit here and bore the crowd. No, they tried to put a fight. First off, he took the fight. Everything that he said to Wilder, well, Wilder was aware of this before. Right, yeah, you know. No, that's not what he came down to. Joseph Parker was a sacrificial lamb. And had Wilder knocked him out, that comment wouldn't have came out of 7-8's mouth. And plain and simple, he'd have went on, and him and AJ would have had already fought. Now, my thing is, with him saying that, how is it that, and I see the same names, just the same people jump from channel to channel to channel just to argue about shit. The same names, like these same people, they go on the channel and they was talking about, yeah, Fury never gave him his rematch. How is it fair for Fury though? I mean, for Klitschko now, if that's the case. Now, for him to accept the fight, that's on him. But point is, how do you go from saying it wasn't fair that Wilder fought a guy that was active? When the fuck was the last time Klitschko was active, right? So it's amazing, man. The excuses that people make up for others. But if Wilder is to be taken serious, he got to do better than this shit. If he went in there and knocked this guy out, big deal. Big deal. Deontay Wilder, the Bronze Bomber, is back. That's what they're going to want to yell at. And then he'd stand up there and talk about it's back. It's definitely back now. You know what I'm saying? It's back. You know what I'm saying? I feel it now. This, that, whatever. Right. And then goes in there, and when he steps up again, he gets knocked out again. I told you guys, man, when Wilder step up in competition, he's going to lose, and he's going to lose bad, because Wilder doesn't know the basic fundamentals of boxing, and he's not good at anything. There's not one thing. His jab, even when he used to throw his jab, it was the best thing that he had. Okay? But at least he had a consistent jab at one point. You look at Wilder, he's not good at anything. There's nothing he do that, he's mastered this. No. Fighting mediocre competition that can't test you and push you to your limits will always make you think you're better than what you are. Yes men will always make you think you're better than what you are. And when he stepped up in competition, he lost, but it was always an excuse from him and his fans. And now, because he realizes that he can't compete with these top-level guys, and I told you the same shit, other than just a puncher's chance, there's nobody that Wilder can beat that's good. Bottom line, well, for this man to say all the things he said and talk all about how God is good and life is good and all this money to end up going back to BLK Prime. And notice you haven't heard Turkey, no conversations about him having a meeting or talk, none of that. Till now, you get this shit, the news coming out. BLK Prime. Man. It's funny to sit here and think about it now when I can remember everything that was things that was going on between him and AJ, all the fans saying one thing about who's doing what and all, and went from all of that to him fighting on BLK Prime, man. It's crazy. 18 wins, 11 losses. So listen, in closing, I'm going to say this. I told you guys in the video, Deontay, Fury, AJ. AJ's good, but he's just not consistent enough. All-time great, fuck no. Tyson Fury's good, overrated, fuck yeah. Has his flaws that people overlook purposely, fuck yeah. All-time great, fuck no. Fuck no. Deontay Wilder, average, hyped up, and basically overrated. Well protected. All-time great? Shit, no. And this is the man right here. Think about Muhammad Ali's last fight. It was against Trevor Berbick. Before that was Larry Holmes. Ali was completely washed up, finished, and Parkinson's had already started setting in. Mike Tyson beat Trevor Berbick for the belt. Larry Holmes is a legend. So even in Ali's physical state, and you watch, Ali was trying to fight back. He was doing the best he could to fight back against Berbick. Against Holmes, he couldn't let his hands go because he couldn't do nothing. Everything he did, Holmes was catching. He couldn't. He was shot. He was a shot fighter. Reflexes, timing, everything going, but he still was super tough. Ali would have not fought no motherfuckers like this. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, no. This doesn't look good for the bomb squad. No excuses necessary. We're already used to him. If y'all really care about this man, instead of sucking him off, going in his comment sections or showing up at the gym or at his house or whoever the fuck you are that know him and however y'all interact with him, all these fanboy channels, he's going to do what he's going to do, and he has the right to do it. But y'all need to be honest with him, if nothing else, and let him know. If you really want to win these fights, man, you're going to have to change things that you know so much about yourself. At your age, you're not going to. Do you really want to continue doing this? Because when you sit up here and edge somebody on to do something, trying to keep hope alive and thinking that some miraculous thing is going to happen in that ring, he's going to, you know, turn back the time for one night or for, you know, 3 nights, just enough time so he get 4 nights or whatever, and he get a title shot again. He just keep winning. Nah, that's not going to happen. And worst case scenario is Wilder lose. That's the worst case shit. I mean, you know, this is disgraceful on every level. But it shows you where he's at and what he's comfortable with. And there wasn't no savagery was missing or no. What happened is he was out of his comfort zone, out of his element, and now he has to fight the very top fighters. And in doing so, he couldn't get comfortable. His nerves was getting to him, and he didn't know how to handle his shit. And he also showed the world that he was never on an elite level, and he can't handle the top guys now. So he resorts back to the way he started and how his whole career has been. And when this man was the WBC champion, he was fighting guys ranked 400 or 500. It's in his book. I put it up on my channel. Go do the homework. Go do the research. He was fighting guys ranked anywhere between from 100 up to 500. He was fighting guys that wasn't even ranked. So this is back to his old ways. And why you think he went to BLK Prime to do it? 1, he done burnt that bridge with PBC. 2, he already know Turkey's not having that shit. And then 3, this is his comfort zone. I wish one day, somehow, somebody upload that Harold Sconia fight. Y'all will see something to go, damn, Aries, you said that too. You was right. And I remember some brothers was telling me about that. And I'm like, their name I couldn't remember. And then when I saw this shit, I'm like, when I finally saw it, what they were telling me, it was probably like a year, maybe 2 years later. And I remember I saw that damn fight. After I saw it, I'm like, I seen this shit. Damn, okay, that was Wilder. What the, okay. Yeah, and how I saw that fight, we was doing some work in this lady's house. And the boyfriend or whatever, it wasn't her husband. So I guess it was somebody she was dating because she wasn't married. So, but he was in there watching the fights. And I remember him saying, like, you know, man, this guy, he's too wild. He's too damn wild, man. I knew that's what happens, man. He had no defense. This guy, he's tall, he's rangy, but yeah. And I remember him, and I said, wait a minute. I didn't remember the name Harold Sconia at all. But I remember the one guy saying, what's his name? And he said, Deontay Wilder. And he was like, he really lost his fight, man. That referee gave him a second chance. And then the shit started coming back like, wait a minute. Damn, that's what the fuck that. Yes, I remember this shit now. And basically, you can't find that fight. Like you look this shit, you won't find it. However, as a matter of fact, him watching the fight, there was no commentary. Because I don't know if he was watching YouTube, because you remember YouTube started in 2010 or something like that. I don't know if he was watching YouTube, but you didn't hear commentary. You just heard them talking. And he was kind of, and like this, ad-libbing. And so pretty much, it's like the person that uploaded it, or persons that uploaded it, they were at the fight. So it was their versions of the fight, phone or whatever camera they was using, and they uploaded it. That's what they were watching. And it probably more like was on YouTube. But I just didn't remember. Now, all of a sudden, you can't find that footage. So anyway, listen, Stop being fanboys. Get out your feelings and just be honest. You know, it's like if somebody says, I can't believe you said those things about AJ. Why the fuck wouldn't I? When have I been known to not say what I feel? You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to act like I don't see something if I don't. I don't care who the fighter is. I don't care what the situation is. I'm going to be honest with you guys. And at the end of the day, if I was fighting somebody 18 and 11 and I had 40 plus fights, I know it was time to hang it up. Got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Talk to me in the comment section. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. And I will catch y'all on the next video.